This episode is a train wreck. I had equipment failures. I forgot to silence my phone. My middle school son walked into the middle of the show, and my sound levels were all over the place. I should delete it and start over. So why am I publishing this nonsense? Mental performance comes with good days and with bad days. This was an awful day, but it was also a great day. It was my first time trying to have one of my kids get on the show. We had a ton of fun and learned some things, and I can still make this episode a clean one sometime down the road. But for now, please just give it a listen. Forgive the quality and enjoy the interactions between me and my boy. And understand that you will have bad days on this journey too. Don't let that wear you down. Find the positive and focus on your improvement. Before we get started, a quick reminder. Unlocked is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult a qualified healthcare provider for any health concerns. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and give a thumbs up, and share across all platforms. Unlocked. Mental performance, physical results. Welcome back to Unlocked Mental Performance, Physical Results. I'm Coach Eric, and it's time to break your routine. Or maybe it's time to build your routine. Why don't we just talk about routines then? Here's what's the truth. Routines are good and routines are bad. What you have to do as an athlete is identify when moments in your process, in your training, in your activity on the field, in your competition, start to put too much pressure on you. And they start to overwhelm you. And what you have to do is find ways to break those routines that cause that pressure and to build routines that will relieve that pressure. You have to be able to identify those moments. You have to be able to identify those processes and be aware of your personal triggers. Okay, I'm going to relax and lean back here. We're going to calm down. This is going to be I know I can. Did you hear that buzzing? That was me forgetting to turn off my phone. That vibration interrupted my show. And yet, here we are. We're going to get back at it. We're going to try again. I am so sorry about that. But you know what? These things happen. We got to get back to work, right? So, we're talking about personal triggers. And hey, that's a trigger, right? Forgetting to turn off your phone. That might trigger your coach. That might trigger yourself. Got to identify that. Some of those triggers are going to be physical, right? You can't stand when it's so hot, you're sweating to death. Maybe you don't like playing on turf. Maybe you don't like playing on clay. There's a certain water temperature that really makes it difficult for you to perform at your best. When you're not rested enough, when you're not hydrated enough, those are all physical situations that can lead to additional feelings of pressure and can overwhelm. There may be external emotions, external activities, things that you don't have control over, the tone of voice from your coach, a specific fan in the audience, the umpire who's behind the plate is just not a dude you usually like, right? You don't have control over those things. And the emotions being emitted by all those people around you, you start to, if somebody else is having a bad day, you can sense it, you can feel it, and it can affect you. So external emotion can affect your state, and they can affect your internal, but they're not the only thing that affects your internal emotions. What? Think about it. You argue with yourself, you put yourself down, you question yourself internally. That monologue starts to wear you out, starts to beat you down. And now, instead of getting better and feeling good about yourself, you're feeling weak. You're feeling non-productive, or maybe your inner dialogue is going, woo, you got this. Come on, everybody got a little perked up there. And if you do that in your head, you're going to feel that too. So how do we get there? Get there. We've talked about some other skills on this show. And today, what we're going to talk about is how to reset the routine. Once you've identified those physical triggers, once you've identified those external emotions, once you've identified those internal emotions, once you've identified environmental conditions that trigger you and put you into a negative or less productive mindset that weaken your mental, sets you up for failure, then you've got to figure out how do you break those routines. Well, we're going to take a break from this routine. It never fails. You try to do an episode on consistency or on routines, and what do you get? You get interruptions. So let me introduce you to our interruption. He is a young athlete, 8th grade, working towards being a high school athlete and hopefully a collegiate athlete. Goes by the name of Lucas. Lucas, can you say hi?
Hello, hello.
So Lucas, who says hello, hello, interrupted while we were recording. And whose fault is that, Lucas?
Yours. You lost track of time.
I lost track of time. He is absolutely 100% correct. This is 100% my fault. I know what time he comes home, and yet here I am recording out in the open where his arrival would be interrupting me. But that's all right, because you know what he's going to do now? He is going to do the big release breathing technique right here live on the podcast. And why is he going to do that? Because I've never taught it to him. And since I've never taught it to him, he'll probably do it wrong, and that'll bring me joy and pleasure. Or at the very least, it'll be a learning experience. Okay, so Lucas, are you ready to learn the big release?
Yeah, I guess so.
You guess so. Well, would you like to know why you're learning the big release?
Because I don't breathe right?
Because you don't breathe right. Well, you're sitting upright, and you managed to get home today, so you do breathe correctly. But do you breathe right? That's a great way to phrase it. Lucas has learned how to box breathe. Lucas has learned the one big breath, the one good breath, the one true breath, whatever you want to call it. He's learned that technique. He knows how to breathe from his diaphragm, but I've never introduced him to the big release, the big roar, the lion's breath. There's a lot of different names for it, but it is specifically a great technique for resetting. It's for when things have gone wrong and you need a fresh boot. You need to kick the system over and get going again. And calm isn't going to get it done. Maybe you've already tried the one big breath. Maybe you've already tried the box breathe and you're kind of hyperventilating a little bit. So you need a boost. You need something to kick you in the butt, the big release. So it starts out just like most breathing techniques. We're talking in through the nose, a nice slow breath that fills your entire body. But then everything I've told you not to do in the other breathing techniques, out the window. In this one, you're going to exhale forcefully through your mouth, and you're going to make a noise with it. You can growl. It can be like, huh, whatever comes natural as part of your big breath. Because what you're trying to do is explosively release the tension in your body. Lucas, do you have tension in your body?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that nervousness because you're on a microphone and you weren't planning on that when you got home from school today?
I'm not nervous. I'm kind of more like...
Just you're feeling the anxiety. You're feeling a little anxious, right? Great. Me too. Makes you feel any better. I'm a little anxious. Okay, so step 1, give me a nice, good, steady, slow inhale through your nose. Just like a diaphragm breath, you're going to fill up your whole body. Go ahead. All right, he's looking like an inflated balloon. I want a forceful exhale and give me a growl or a haw sound. He gave me a chuckle. But you know what?
Yeah, I guess.
You even do it right, but do you feel better?
A little bit.
I told you you're going to do it wrong.
I was kind of concerned at how you go through the mic, I'll be honest.
Don't worry about that. Hey, this is the great thing. Since this is not actually live radio like what I used to do, I can stop this, roll it back, chop it, and what you just did never happened.
Yeah, but that's not the whole point of the podcast.
Correct. We're going to leave it right there. Okay, so I'm going to do one. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Release. Don't get punched in the gut.
I did. I got punched in the gut, but you know what? I feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you, I had a guy I used to play with, and this is what he sounded like, an imitation for you. I'm serious. That's what he did. But you know what? Who cares? That's what he did to feel better. So I want you to do another one. Let your ambitions go. Make it whatever sounds you want. Don't just laugh at yourself and laugh at me, but go ahead and really put your guts into your one big release breath. All right, ready, set, breathe. Not bad, not bad. Not great, but you know what not great means?
Better than bad.
Better than bad. And how do we get to great?
Doing it more.
Get more. What's a word for that?
Reps.
Reps. We practice. So it's important with any of these techniques to practice. Now, did that release a little bit of tension? Do you feel a little bit less nervous
Yeah.
having done this? Well, I'm glad you're able to do it with me. What I'm going to talk about next is verbal cues. What do I mean by verbal cues? Well, when you're stressed out and you're becoming overwhelmed and you need to reset your routine, there are physical and there are verbal ways that you can reset it. And obviously the inhale, exhale explosion is physical, but it did involve a verbal cue if you chose to insert one at the end. But there are specifically verbal cues that are used in sports. And I'm going to ask you to think of one after I describe this to you, okay? So you can have a key word next play. You can have a phrase, I've got this. Or maybe it's just a positive affirmation as opposed to a negative affirmation, Coach Eric. I am strong. I am capable. I can do it. I'm a beast. You laughed because that was a good one, right? So what's a verbal cue that either you, your teammates, or your coach uses in a game or in a training session when he wants you to either excel or get back on track?
Well, I guess like most recently, Coach Cam, he's always yelling like, just like a don't give up, like especially on like the dribbling and stuff like that. It's always like a don't give up or like don't give up on me, like keep going, keep going, keep going. It's just like
that's great.
Over and over again, loud.
Okay, so Coach Cam, since we don't have a good background there, I'm gonna give a little background here. Coach Cam is a basketball, and what he specializes in is teaching ball. Now, if you've ever learned how to ball handle in basketball, it is really hard, and guys give up and they stop, and that's how you get the no dribble. So Lucas is learning from Cam how to do things that are naturally difficult ball handling. And what he's saying to you, Lucas, is, hey, don't give up, don't quit, don't hang your head, don't get frustrated. But he's just got a phrase to say all of that in one quick hit, right? Now, what about for yourself? What is something, you also play basketball, you play baseball. What's something you say to yourself going into a big moment? Let's say in a bat. What's something you say to yourself when you've got one foot in the batter's box and you're looking over at your coach and he just gave you swing away? What are you saying to yourself?
Well, it's always this one thing, and I kind of got it from the show, I won't be honest. But I'd get in there and I like tell myself either under my breath or in my head, like nobody better, nobody better, nobody better.
And for those who don't know, the show is a video game. All rights are owned by Sony or whoever. But you play that game. It reinforces a skill that you can use on the field. Is there anybody better? Nope. I love it. I love that. That's great. That's positive affirmation. It's also not true, by the way. Bryce Harper is better. That's true. He's not. Not yet anyway, right? All right. There are some other ones, though. There are other ways to do it, and they are physical. Now, we talked about a physical action, and that was the breath, right? That's a movement. But you could have other kinds of movements. You can have gestures, pumping your fist, tap on the shoulder, swat on the butt, right? The one-armed man hug. You ever have one of those? Any of those things? Do you like any of those things?
I mean, like, yeah, I guess, yeah, I do. Like, if someone comes up to me and, like, the one arm, like, I guess, like, oh, what's up, what's up, what's up?
What about knuckle bumping?
Like, knucks?
Yeah.
I don't do it a lot, but it's like a lower high five.
Okay. So you're not really into that. What do you prefer?
Yeah, probably a dap up. Yeah.
You prefer a dap up. Yeah, you know what? I already knew that. But you're a natural at it.
Yeah.
Yes. But it makes you feel better, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
When it gets a good pop.
Especially when it gets a good pop. When it's crisp?
Yeah. When it's crisp, I guess.
You guess. Why do you keep saying I guess? Be confident. Believe in yourself.
Good crisp.
Do you consider yourself a good teammate?
Yes.
Okay, when a teammate is feeling down, do you ever give them one of these physical cues to try to reset their negative thinking?
Most of the time I put my arm around them.
So you're a one-armed hug guy. All right. What about that they had a really good at bat or taken a really good shot, but it didn't?
Well, it depends on the person.
Oh, I'm going to stop you right there. I love that. I love that you went there. That's something I was going to talk about here in a minute, but we're going to talk about it right now because Lucas ruined the flow and he did it in a great manner. It's individual. What you do for Ben is different than what you do for Matthew. It's different than what I do for you. So you have to keep it personalized. Not everybody responds to the same thing. So how do you feel about the pat on the butt?
I'm okay with it personally. I know some people aren't okay with it.
but it's fine.
I mean, it's fine. I never have a problem with it. I'm like, I mean, it mostly doesn't come from my teammates though. The only time I really like, especially on my team, ever get like a slap on the butt, that's mostly coach.
Yeah, it's old school, right? Okay, so if you're getting slapped on the butt, the guy's probably 50. That's sort of the generation for that. But if you're getting dapped up, it's probably not a 70-year-old, right?
No, definitely not.
Okay, so it's personalized. You got to remember that all of these things are personalized. The one good breath for you is different than the one good breath for me. The roar is going to be guttural for some guys, and it's just going to be a for you because you're afraid of it. But we'll get better at that, right?
Yeah.
Right? Right? Yeah. See, I'm making fun of them. There's a lot of love in the room right now. If you were sitting here, you'd feel the warmth of our mutual embrace here.
I think it's the fireplace.
It could be the fireplace. That's an excellent point. That might be where So the third type of, I'm calling it physical because it involves your body, but this is really a crossover. This is really where mental and physical come together. And that's visualization. Because for visualization to work, you have to both engage mentally and physically with it. So you've got to control your breathing when you're doing visualization. You have to close your eyes and really focus your mind and see what it is you're visualizing. Or if you like to, and then you're in a situation to do it, and you see this a lot with golfers, you'll do your visualization with your eyes open and looking out at what it is that you're visualizing, where that tee shot is going to go. If you're a sprinter and you can see the finish line from the blocks, instead of looking down to do your visualization, you may look up and really focus on that tape. The visualization is generally considered mental because it's being still and keeping your eyes closed, but it crosses over into physical if you personalize it to your preferences. Does that make sense, Lucas?
It does make sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Do you know why I asked you if that makes sense, Lucas?
Because you thought I wasn't listening?
Because I thought you weren't listening. That's right.
I'm trying not to breathe into the mic.
Well, that's good. I have a horrible habit of breathing in. So, visualization. Do you ever use visualization, Lucas?
I do. I do it mostly in the dugout.
In the dugout?
Like mostly before an at-bat or like on the bench or checking into a basketball game.
Okay. So visualization for you is something that you can do in public, but that is private.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. That's the way it works for me too. All right, so let's talk about some additional tips, some ways to help you reset your routine besides just growling like a lion and, having some physical gestures. You don't like that? That's okay. You don't have to like it. It's all right. Maybe the listeners love it. Maybe the listener singular doesn't. We'll have to wait and see on that one, right? So feel free to hit us up. Let us know what you feel about the term physical gesture and whether or not I should have just called it fist pumping or shoulder tapping or knuckling up, or what I used to do when I was a player is we used to bang forearms together. So there's all kinds of different stuff. Hockey players like to bang heads against each other, but
Crazy.
A lot of concussions in that sport. Love my hockey players. A lot of love for my hockey players. All right. So the additional tips, since I got myself sidetracked again, keep it simple. The biggest one I can give you is keep it simple. Your routine has to be easy to remember and execute. If there's 15 steps to your DAP, what are the chances you're going to get that one off crisply?
Probably not, unless you're an absolute pro.
Unless you're a pro. And how would you get to be a pro on it?
Repetition.
That's right. You would practice it regularly. That was my next bullet point. If you're going to have a routine, complicated or simple, what do you have to do, Lucas?
Repetition.
Gotta practice regularly. And you've got to make it specific. It can't just be something general. You need to do it the same way, so it needs to be specific. If "don't quit on me" is your phrase, then "don't quit on me" needs to be your phrase. Not "don't give up on me," not "I'm never quitting you." It's "don't quit on me." If knuckles is your deal, knuckles is your deal. Doesn't mean you can't change it, but as long as it's your deal, it's what you do. Keep it specific. And the last part of this, the last key tip that I'm going to give you on this is use it. Use it in competition. You can't just use it at home on your own. You can't just use it at practice. What good is it if you don't put it to use in the most stressful situation?
I mean, it's not useful if you don't use it. I don't know. I feel like, it's hard to get used to doing. is more, I guess. I getting used to doing it and then being able to do it over and over, same thing is,
You have to do it to get used to doing it. Yeah, that's fair. That's what we're talking about. You have to. So use it in competition. And as we said earlier, big asterisk, personalized routine, your best routine is the best routine specific in that. And there can be a lot of care. What pumps you up, your math test, also be what to get on the mound. But it doesn't have to. And what works for you doesn't have to work personal. And you have to practice it. You have to practice. So let's talk a little practicing. At practice, and I mean like legitimate, you can practice and develop those habits so that they're part of your game plan. So it's part of what you're going to do in live action. Just like you're running a drill. In that play, that's part of your routine will then come out in the game. So let's talk basketball. Let's talk about, you've got a basketball play. They go dribble, dribble, spin, rise up, shoot. After you make the foul shot, what do your teammates do?
They clap and they get the people on the block, or not the block,
on the hash.
Hash. They usually just come up, quick high five, make the people from behind come up, quick high five. The bench usually claps a couple times. The coach.
Okay. What do they do when you miss?
Same thing, really. I mean, the bench doesn't really clap. I don't know what the bench does. I'm not paying attention to them. I'm paying attention to my game, but
they have a routine. Do that consistently. Now, you as a shooter, are you going to shoot differently on shot 2 because you missed shot 1?
Yeah, I personally, when I miss, I think of like, okay, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Mostly in my routine. I mostly think about what I did wrong in my routine. Like maybe, like I moved my foot a little bit off the right a lot, or like I moved it back, or I twisted wrong, or something.
But it's still dribble, dribble, spin, spin, down and up.
Yep.
Okay. So your routine for a miss is to identify what went wrong in your routine while you're dapping up and getting love from your teammate, and then trying to execute the original routine better.
That about sums it up, yeah.
And you learned to do that at practice.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So it's important in training sessions, in practice sessions, in shooter, do those if they were competition, so that when you are in competition,
that I do it better and I do it that way, the same way.
Right. Because it's going to help you stay focused, and because you practiced during practice, because you practiced in casual, you're going to do, and if you practiced it during stressful times, you're going to be even better. But what if you don't have practice? Then what can you? Now you have no physical way of doing it. You can't shoot outside because it's snowing and gross out. You can't go to the gym because you don't have a driver's. No one's going to give you a ride because your parents don't love you. How can you as an athlete work on dribble, dribble, spin, spin? Don't answer. Think about it. Visualize the answer.
Well, my first thought was actually, because I have an indoor basketball, was not the answer, I guess. But yeah, I guess the second answer that I thought of would be visualize just my form, and like I like thinking of like a third person view of me, like from the stands almost, or like from right behind me, a little bit above me.
Video game view?
Yeah, I guess a video game view of my shooting. But yeah, that about what I do about that.
Okay, so I cheat, but you got it to be doing. Whether it's taking a foul shot, whether it's imagining, seeing, you can do it well, but visuals. So the other way to think is role playing. And I'm not talking Dungeons and Dragons here. I'm talking about taking teammates. I'm talking about taking coaches, fans, parents, the cheerleaders, and simulating. So Lucas, why would I say bring?
Well, you just said it. Simulate real game activity. Simulate the feeling of the game.
Because the cheerleaders are going to make all kinds of awful racket while you're trying to shoot foul shots.
Screeching is so.
There is nothing like a middle school girl to make your eardrums bleed. But that's the key. You've got to practice it. It's got to become second nature. And if you do those things, it can make you better. So just start big, right?
You got to start.
No, you don't start big. You start small. Bite size, consumable, accomplishable goals. Start small. Work big. Get a simple routine. Add more to it as you go. I know you're a beast, so you can start big. But for everybody else, let's start small. Let's be consistent. If you do the same thing over and over again, you're going to get better at it. Let's make it personal. Let's understand that what works for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for Joe. And let's be patient. Failure is part of the process, and the progress comes. So be patient. The best results come over time. They're not. We all want instant gratification. I hope that these results will give you some instant gratification, but the big results, the big wins, they come later with routine, with practice, with being consistent, and with going from small to beast, like my guest Lucas. You agree. You agree you're a beast. Look, I'm going to wrap this up now, Luke. I really appreciate you being here with us. Did you have fun?
Yes, I did.
I'm going to stop it right there because you can't say it any better than. So, in conclusion, you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You can pump the brakes and you can reboot your system. You can restart yourself for a better performance. So start implementing these today. Start practicing immediately. Even a little tiny change can make a big difference. And if you build on that little tiny change, if you build it up bigger and bigger and build bigger, you too can be a beast. The growth and the agility of your mind is critical to your success in athletics. It is. You can't be a stud if you don't have a growth mindset. And if your brain is sludge, you're not going to be. Mental strength is not a fixed. It is a skill like all your physical skills that you can develop and you can improve over time. And if you're lethargic and you neglect your mental strength, you won't be strong. It's important to embrace the growth mindset. It is important to view mental training as an ongoing process. You have to enjoy the grind. And if you want to turn the process into progress, keep grinding, keep smiling. I'm Coach Eric. I had Lucas with me today, and this was Unlocked: Mental Performance, Physical Results.
Keep your head up high, don't let fear lead the way. Act, take a swing, let the battle talk. Chest high, walk the walk. Breathe in deep, let the pressure unlock. You are focused, ready to rock. Commit to the moment, let the past fade away. Get back in the game, you're ready to play. Sun shining bright, he's feeling the heat. With every deep breath, he's back on his feet. Visualizing success, he's got a new plan. With the tools from Play Big, he's a brand new man. He knows it's a journey, not just a quick fix. With patience and practice, he'll find his own mix. Act, take a swing, let the back of the talk. Chest high, walk the walk. Breathe in deep, let the pressure unlock. You are focused, ready to rock. Commit to the moment, let the past fade away. Get back in the game, you're ready to play. Setback's a lesson, every strike's a chance to rise up stronger, to take a new stance. With the crowd on his side, he's ready to show. With the ABCs in his heart, he's ready to go. Act, take a swing, let the back of the talk. Chest high, walk the walk. Breathe in deep, let the pressure unlock. You are focused, ready to rock. Commit to the moment, let the past fade away. Get back in the game, you're ready to play. So here's to the slumps, the struggles we face. With courage and commitment, we'll find our own place. Every new inning is a chance to rise. Chase the champion spirit to the skies. Every new inning is a chance to rise.